Hello, my name is Zoard Schibel, and this is an educational series called Where Are You At With? Part of the Know, Understand, and Remember learning series from Engaging the Underachiever. Today's topic is weaving a web. So the question is, where are you at with weaving a web? For this project, you will need a loom. I have a nice piece of cardboard I cut from the side of a box for my loom. You will also need to warp your loom, and in this instance, warp, which most people think of as something bending out of shape. Warp means the yarn you put on the loom. So, to warp a loom means to put yarn on it. The warp holds the weaving. You will then need some things for weaving the weft. The weft is what you weave into or onto the warp on a loom. I have a nice collection of things I found around the room. A pack of pipe cleaners, colorful ribbons, a few feathers, some wooden beads, sticks I picked up in the yard, and a big ball of string. Step 1. Cut short slits all around the edges of your cardboard loom. I made lines with a marker because it helps me stay organized. The slits should be short, about an inch, maybe less. Step number 2. Warp the loom. Take your yarn. I'm using blue for my warp. Start at any slit and pull the yarn into the cut. Leave the tail. I call it the tail of the kitty. Leave the tail hanging because a kitty doesn't like having its tail bothered. Run the yarn to another slit and pull it snug. Flip the loom. Run the yarn, pull it snug. Flip the loom. Run the yarn, pull it snug. Keep doing this until you have a nice crisscross looking warp. You can go back to the same slit if you like. You can make your warp threads run straight up and down and sideways. Up and down is called vertical. Sideways is called horizontal. You can also run the threads on an angle, which is called the diagonal. Be creative. The more warp threads you have, the better. Step number 3. Take something from your weft collection and weave it into or onto the warp threads on your loom. Over, under, over, under, over, under is what you should be thinking and doing. You don't have to go over, under every thread. You'll quickly find how well things hold on this loom. You can pull the weft snug. You can leave it loose. You can even have loops in it. Step number 4. Pick something else. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Step number 5. Pick something else again and again and again and again until you have a weaving project that looks right to you. Be creative. There are no right or wrong ways to weave on this loom. I'm using some of the beads and the pipe cleaners to make a spider on a stick because when I hear the word web, I think of a spider's web. You could use the pipe cleaners and the beads and the feathers and the ribbon to make a spider or a bug or any kind of creature if you like. Then, when you're done, you'll have a nice project you created that you might hang up on the wall of art. And, if you like, well, get out a piece of paper and write a little story about your creation. I'm going to write a story about my spider, whose name is Midnight, and the bug, whose name is the Atlantic Ocean. And Midnight wants to catch the Atlantic Ocean, but the Atlantic Ocean doesn't want to get caught. Thank you.